Welcome to MCN. We're in Sepang and we are going to be riding today a bike that competes in the Asian Championship. It's a one-make race series for TVS bikes. Well, that's bad timing, wasn't it? Now these bikes, made by TVS. TVS are an Indian manufacturer. They've been around for about 100 years and they sell over 1 million bikes a year. They're in over 80 countries and they're huge, even though we haven't really heard about them in the UK. Wow. They also own Norton. Now they've invited us over here to ride one of their bikes, which is basically a Moto 3 style bike, which is very, very loud. And you'll kind of know the bare bones of the bike because the bare bones of the bike is a BMW G310, the naked small capacity single cylinder 300cc beamer that's made by TVS. Well, in India there's also a BMW version called the 310 RR, and that's what these bikes are based on. So this series is basically all Asian riders. I think there's a couple of Europeans in it, and it's a bit like a talent cup. It's not just Indian riders, although it's an Indian company, and the idea is to give these young riders a stepping stone into racing. It's quite serious. The bikes have got about 60 bhp, almost double the road bike power. They weigh about 119 kilos, so very, very light. They run on Dunlop slicks, they've got Olin suspension, modified frames, modified engines, and they've even got full data logging. And Peter Bomb, who you might know from Oxley Bomb podcast actually, as well as steering Danny Kent and Cal Crutchlow to World Championships, Christopher Mullen to Super Sport Championships. So you've got some real professionals in on the team to develop the bikes, and they've invited us to have a little go. Now you may wonder what an English publication gets out of riding these bikes at a far-flung location, the far-flung manufacturer. Well, I think really it's TVS's way of, you know, getting us Europeans familiar with the brand. And they're starting to enter the European market. They're in Italy, they're showing bikes in France, and of course you've got the tie-up with Norton. So we're going to be riding these bikes later. We're about the middle of the day here. We're going to be riding the bikes when all the racing is done, when these bikes, just before they get packed away in the trucks, because basically these bikes are looked after by TVS. They're transported between the races by TVS. The riders just have to come along and ride the bike. So the riders have got different bikes each time they turn up. So we're going to be riding the bikes at the end of the day. They've even weighed us so they can set up the suspension for us, which is really cool. And we're going to be riding as the light starts to fade. So I think we're going to be riding under floodlights, but we'll see. It's a real well-run setup team, real eye-opener. You know, at this event you've got super bikes and super sport bikes, but you've also got underbones and small capacity racing. It's absolutely fantastic, very colourful. People are absolutely amazing here. And we're going to spend the rest of the day watching the racing and then looking forward to having a go later on. So let's see how we get on. So the sun is setting here at Sepang. The floodlights are on. They can light this track up like Qatar, which is pretty cool. We've had a couple of sessions on the TVS, and I've never ridden like a Moto 3 style bike before, or a 125, and it's everything I imagined it to be. It's very small. I can hardly get my feet on the pegs. I'm riding like Charlie Chaplin, and you need to keep your momentum up through corners, which is a no-brainer, isn't it? Little bikes are all about big corner speed, and they're designed, this bike's design's got 60 horsepower, all the power's at the top, and to be honest, if you drop sort of below half revs when you're dithering about, not knowing where you're going through the corner, it feels quite rough. But anything above that is good once you start learning your way around this magnificent track. I mean, what a circuit. Every corner you go around, you kind of imagine all the races and the racers that you've seen here before. It's just amazing. And then as you start to figure out where you're going, the bike feels beautiful. I mean, the level of the bike far exceeds what I could ever dish out to it. It's very light, very nimble. So nimble, in fact, that any kind of small movement you make on the bike affects the bike. So you've got to be very calm and gentle with your movements, especially when you're hanging off just before a corner, just before you're braking. That can upset the bike. So it's all about being really smooth, keeping up momentum. The brakes are superb. The Dunlop slicks are amazing. The chassis just very, very stable. It's just, and it sounds great. Yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. And when there's a big gaggle of them setting off, it really does sound amazing. Thoroughly impressed. I mean, you know, if this is what TVS can do, then it's they're definitely a dark in here, isn't it? Definitely a manufacturer that is on the up, and one that you're probably going to see a lot more of in the future. You know, they're huge in India, and with what their success here in the Asian Championship and beyond, I mean, I think you're going to hear and see a lot more of TVS, not just with their connection with Norton. So that's our day here at Sepang, all over and done with. An absolutely fantastic time on these bikes. I've been really nervous. We've been waiting to ride them all day, and even though they've got 60 horsepower, the weight has made me really nervous. But they're beautiful to ride. I'd love to spend a lot of time on one around the track, I know. But as it is, we've had a lovely taste of this bike around this amazing track, and yeah, a good day was had by all. So thanks very much for watching this little vloggy video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.